Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is the Our Turf Football Podcast. I am Dana. We have Kate. We have Lisa. For those of you listening and not watching, Lisa just held up a picture of a flyer that went over the Dolphins game that said Fire Greer, Fire McDaniel. Lisa, we'll get there. You have a whole segment today, hon. You get a whole segment about this. Right before we came on, Lisa told me to get the bleep button ready, but I told her to get it out of her system. So she did. She verbal vomited all of it. We're going to talk about it for sure. We have a lot to talk about this week. Even though it's only 2 weeks in, there's been a lot of things that have happened. We have a ridiculous amount of injuries, especially in the quarterback category. We're going to talk about surprising teams that are 0-2 and surprising teams that are 2-0, because there's a couple of those too. We are going to talk with Lisa about the situation down in Miami, being as it's pretty obvious, especially if you listen to national media, that hipster homebrewer is the hottest seat in the NFL right now. And then we're going to end the night with a conversation about Tom Brady. I don't know if you guys saw this as much as we did. I retweeted something on the Our Turf Football that our good friend Connie had posted out. Connie was the first female NFL scout. If you ever want to check her out, love her to death. But about Tom Brady being in the coach's booth during the Raiders game. When he's going to call the Raiders game, it's weird, guys. There's all kinds of weird stuff, and the NFL had to put a statement out today. So we're going to talk about that for a second. Big Red. We are going to talk. So I want everyone to know Big Red is our Spencer Rattler fan. You guys all know that by now. Here's the thing. Spencer Rattler was in an article today that said, keep your eyes out for these people. And Spencer Rattler was number one. I sent it to Big Red. So Big Red, I hope that made your day. It was very fun. So anyway, before we get started with all of this tonight, of course, we want to thank our sponsor, Donkey's Place Cheesesteak. They have 3 locations in New Jersey, Medford, Mount Holly, and Camden. And of course, you can go to goldbelly.com, look up Donkey's Place Cheesesteaks, and they will mail it directly to your home. They have been our sponsor for 5 years. We love them. They're like family, and we appreciate it. And you guys should too, because this is why you get to watch an entire podcast without a single commercial. So thank you so much to Donkeys. Well, I guess this is a commercial. One commercial at the very beginning. That's what you get for sure. So, all right. Kate just got back from a tropical vacation. How was your week in Jamaica, Kate?
It was amazing. It was amazing. I didn't want to come home. Not going to lie. I was able to watch all the football games. Every bar they had football on. I got to watch my college games, my NFL games. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to go home. But the weather's actually really nice in Cleveland this week, so I can't complain. Usually when we come back, I got to put away the summer clothes and get out the winter clothes because it's September. And apparently we think it's still summer here, and we're having beautiful 70s weather. But Jamaica's just, it's amazing. Yeah. If you haven't been, you should go. It's sure. Great.
Kate's smart. She goes every year right around Labor Day. She's so lucky. Yeah. Love it, love it, love it. Lisa, we're going to talk about your trip to Miami and the game. But how was your trip to Miami? The trip was okay?
Great.
Good.
It was nice. It was nice to see everybody again. I ran into Jen and Murda, who told me all about Kate and how wonderful she was at that in Cleveland at the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, they want us all to get together one year because they just absolutely loved her and like I said, they're big supporters of our show, and shout out to them. Really appreciate that. But it's good seeing everybody. It was good being back there, and even though the outcome sucked, but it was great atmosphere seeing everybody. It's always nice. It's just about being there, and it felt like I was coming home. So, but boy, I tell you, it was hot. I'm spoiled now. It was hot. And everybody's like, how nice it was. Oh, the humidity's down. I'm like, oh my God, I was dying.
You forget when you're not in it all the time, for sure. Awesome. All right. Well, I want to say hi first before we get started to all of our friends over in chat. We have Kristen, we have Big Red, we have Bob, we have Darcy, we have all our friends. But if you are watching over on the Twitter, over on Facebook, or somewhere else, I'm not sure if it runs on Blue Sky. I think it does. then come over to the YouTube channel so you can join our chat. As you will see throughout our show, we always pull comments and conversations out of that. And in fact, Big Red is already like, can we talk about the comeback in the Panthers-Cardinal game? Yeah, we're going to talk about that for sure. So please come on over to the YouTube channel and join us here. Also, make sure you give the show a like and hit subscribe so you know when we go live. Okay, let's start with these injuries, ladies. It was a serious week, right? The Arizona Cardinals entire secondary is like out, or it's a mess. That was a mess of a game. We have 5 quarterbacks who are going to miss, starting quarterbacks, going to miss next week. We have some other really big name players, and then some injuries from last week that are still carrying over. So let's start with the quarterbacks, because obviously I think that affects people the most, especially when it is, fantasy football. If you play fantasy football, this is a big deal. Kate, when we get through these, I want you to tell your story. Okay, hold on one second. So we're going to start with Joe Burrow. Obviously, that one was huge. Out with turf toe. They put him on IR today. He has to have surgery. I think they said 3 months. Here's the interesting thing. When you say the words turf toe, ladies, don't you think it's like, oh, he hurt his toe? Get over it. It's a bigger deal than the title gives it, I think. This is a big deal. We have 2 quarterbacks out with turf toe, one more serious than the other. Then we have Jaden Daniels. Go ahead.
Just to clarify, my understanding, turf toe is when you actually tear the ligaments and tendons in your big toe.
Yeah.
If you've ever just stubbed your toe trying to walk, you can't balance with if you have damage to either your big toe or your little toe. Those tendons run all the way up the side of your feet, and we laugh because the name is silly, but it is a big deal. Joe Burrow's having surgery on it. It's not like you'll feel better in a couple weeks.
Sometimes you can feel better in a couple weeks. That's the hope for Brock Purdy, who is still out from week 1 with turf toe. They think maybe 3 to 4 weeks. It just kind of depends.
Because they think his just stretched and maybe tore a little bit. Joe Burrow's like ripped right off.
Yeah. They said there's grades. They grade them.
Yeah. For sure. Then we have Jaden Daniel, his knee. He's questionable. He's going to be out next week. I think they're pretty much saying he'll be out next week, but then they're not sure after that. A little bit of day to day. I love that. They mean week to week is what they mean. JJ McCarthy, high ankle sprain. He's already definitely out for next week. Then we have Justin Fields in concussion protocol. So if he clears, he could play. I wonder if they'll keep him out 1 more week just to see. That'll be interesting. And then, like we mentioned before, Brock Purdy's still out with toe. Probably a couple more weeks for Brock Purdy. Then a few others. We had Jaden Reed, wide receiver for Green Bay. He is out. What does he have? He has his collarbone, broken collarbone. Blech, no, thank you. Austin Eckler out for the season, running back from Washington with an Achilles. And then Aaron Jones, running back for Minnesota, hamstring injury. So he's out for a while. They signed a couple players. There is a long list of other players that were injured. A lot of linemen, like defensive linemen, lots of those. But these are probably the biggest and have the biggest fantasy implications for those who are keeping track. But honest to God, that is tough with Joe Burrow. It almost feels to a certain extent. I think I saw someone, I think it was that cute little comedian, Annie Agar. She said they've turned him into Andrew Luck, who was hurt all the time. And that just kind of sucks. But Kate, you ended up with a double whammy in your quarterback situation for fantasy football. What happened?
Yeah, so I lost Joe Burrow. I'm only in 2 leagues this year. I doubled up on some of my players. I had Joe Burrow in both of them. And my husband's like, what are you going to do? Who do you have on your bench? And I said, don't worry. I have JJ McCarthy on my bench. So today I spent quite a bit of time on the waiver wire. Apparently Daniel Jones is a hot prospect. And Russell Wilson was still available in both of my leagues. And so I put some waiver claims in. It's rough. That fantasy football life for those of us that play, it's rough. I do think though that what surprised me the most is that a lot of these teams are just rolling with their backups. Cincinnati signed a couple more, but they're rolling with Browning. Somebody asked in chat, do you think Minnesota regrets not keeping Sam Darnold? I don't. I think this is JJ's team. They thought he was going to be healthy. A high ankle sprain should only be a few weeks. So I don't think they regret not keeping Darnold. I keep waiting to hear if anybody's going to ask about Deshaun Watson and how he's doing and show some interest in picking him up.
He's off getting baptized in India. He's too busy.
He's too busy. He's not even in the conversations of teams that just have bad quarterback play, but the injuries are rough.
So Big Red asked in comments, does it make a difference which toe you get turf toe in? Is it your plant foot worse than your non-plant foot? Yeah, Lisa, go ahead and answer that for him.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's such a painful injury that there's a lot of swelling, especially with his because I watched when they were talking about the grades. And apparently he's a grade 3, which means he tore the tendon right off the bone. So, and they said that is the worst one because there's so much swelling. So to me, it doesn't matter if it's your plant foot or your other foot. When you hit that ground, it hurts. So I don't think it's a difference between which toe or which foot. I'm gonna say foot because it's not the toe. It's that whole.
It's the whole foot. You're absolutely
right.
100%.
So like I said, his was bad where like we talked about Purdy. It was more of a stretch. I don't know if they said there was any tears but I think it's more of a stretch. But what I find crazy about all this is, are we in a soft league? Are we? I mean, honestly, somebody's got to stand up and ask this question because I don't remember this in the 80s and the 90s when we were doing 2-a-days and stuff. What the hell is going on?
So Lisa, there was a great article in the off season. It was like around like March, I think. Yeah, end of February, March. Dang it, I can't even tell you who wrote it, but it was a great article talking about how the injuries are worse due to the speed and athleticism of the players now. That back then they didn't hit as hard, they didn't fall as hard, they didn't do all that stuff because they weren't as fast. And speed has accelerated so many. That's why we see so many ACLs. That's why we see so many ankle sprains and leg breaks and that sort of thing. It all has to do with speed. It was fascinating, and it was from some sports scientist guy. And it's not that the guys from the 80s and the 90s and even early 2000s weren't tough, they just weren't fast, and now they're so ridiculously fast.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time blaming the conditioning staff, especially with like these hamstring injuries. Are you not stretching? Are you not warming up properly? Are you not ready to play? And I was just trying to find that article, Dan. I remember seeing it this spring, and I got a flood of them from every season. But yeah, I remember that too, because it's not just that the guys are faster. It's now you have to react quicker to them, and your muscles are moving in ways that are quicker and different than when you had time to think about what you were doing, like through high school and college.
Is it also because you're scared to get a penalty? So you're trying to throw your body in a different direction than where you're going? Because we saw it down here. I saw it from one of our guys where he didn't want to get the penalty. So he pulled up and actually blew his knee out because he pivoted, trying not to get a flag.
You're trying to offset the momentum of what your muscle memory tells you to do on the play. And then your brain goes, no, that's a penalty now. And
it's just like, because I was watching some of the retro films of some of the quarterbacks and the hits that they took. They're tremendous hits.
Oh yeah,
and
they were
some
strong.
Of these hits good God. I mean, they were like upended. I mean, some of them, the Bledsoe hit where he got hit out of bounds, and I mean, oh my gosh, came back in, played like 3 or 4 plays, and then they go, no, wait, he's got internal injuries. Now it's crazy because it's like
it has to do with the speed. Yeah. So Steven agrees with you, Lisa. He says that we're in a soft league and we've been in a soft league since the lockout of 2010. I'm telling you, they think it's the speed. It's very interesting.
I kind of agree with him. I think it's soft.
Yeah.
I just, because like I said, I went back and watched some of those hits. Good God.
No, they were serious for sure.
Heads hitting the turf. I mean,
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on. And we'll be to talk about injuries every single week in this league. So we'll get to continue to do that. All right, so we're going to move on and we're going to talk about records. So far this year, it has been quite interesting. I mean, 2 games. People, we understand. I don't want the lectures. I don't want the DMs. 2 games. We understand you don't know who a team is until games, 4 to 6, but we are 2 weeks in and we're seeing a couple of surprising facts. Kate, what most surprises you about these records? And we're going to go through them all, but I want to know what surprises Kate the most about these.
Well, and it's funny because I made the list and then you sent us Jeremy Fowler's tweet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. I can't believe the Colts are 2-0.
I know.
I can't believe the 49ers are 2-0. Yes. The 49ers are 2-0 and the Cardinals are 2-0. And it's not like, they've played people and they're 2-0. I'm not sure how the Bengals are 2-0 because of the Burrow injury.
Mm-hmm.
Browning threw 3 interceptions and they still managed to win this week. They only beat the Browns because we don't have a kicker, right? We missed an extra point and a field goal, but they're still 2-0. And we thought they'd be 2-0. I just thought they'd look better being 2-0.
You didn't think they'd squeak into 2-0?
No, I did not. So the big surprises of the 2-0 teams are the Colts, the 49ers, and the Cardinals. For the 0-2 teams, I did not expect the Dolphins and Jets to both be 0-2. Mm-hmm. I had hope for my Browns, but I'm not surprised at 0-2. The Texans and the Chiefs at 0-2 is super sketchy.
Yeah, sketchy.
I mean, the Titans have a brand new quarterback, right? They have Cam Ward. So maybe 0-2 is kind of to be expected. Mm-hmm. But we actually have more 0-2 teams in the AFC than we do in the NFC. In the NFC, it's the Giants, the Bears, the Panthers. No surprise with those 3.
Right.
But the Saints. And before Big Red says it, Spencer Rattler is not the problem with the Saints. They got all kinds of problems going on there, and it's not the quarterback play.
He played well.
I thought they would be at least 1-1, if not 2-0 at this point. So 0-2 for the Saints was a huge surprise for me.
Lisa, I'm dying to know your thoughts on the 0-2 Chiefs. I know how you feel about Patrick Mahomes. I know how you feel about this team, but there's a lot of commentary going on, especially in this town, and none of it's good. Mm-mm. Patrick Mahomes has never lost 3 games in a row in his entire career, and he lost the Super Bowl in the first 2 games of this season. What is going on in Kansas City, do you think, Lisa?
Well, I think it's just more of like the players. Their roster's not very good.
No.
I really think. I think it's the roster. I really do. I think I would definitely hit some of the trade deadline. I don't know what their capital is as far as salary caps and stuff like that. But you kind of wonder if that contract they gave Patrick and then, Kelsey on top, I mean, are they in salary cap purgatory right now?
Let me look.
That is because it's kind of disturbing. Their line isn't that great. Their defense has tons of holes in it, which everybody's defense does right now. It takes, everybody knows the defense is behind. Not you,
not mine,
but it's just it's a whole team effort. It's just not Patrick. I mean, he's still out there running, still making some good plays and stuff like that. But I mean, it's luck too, right? I mean, it hits Kelsey right in the hands and it just bops off his hands and goes right into the other player. I mean,
right.
It's just rotten luck too at the same time. I think they're missing that big wide receiver. Mm-hmm. I think that target is really hampering them some. Come get Tyreek. Did I say that loud?
They can't afford him. So Lisa, I looked up the salary cap. Is that they have $3 million available right now.
But
this is worse,
happens,
Lisa.
Guys.
Next year, negative $44 million.
Exactly. Why? Because
time to revamp.
Bucks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Time to revamp.
And you're seeing it, and you are seeing it 100%. This is what you can afford. What you're seeing on that field.
So interestingly, I truly believe, and not that we talk about pop culture up here, but when Travis and Taylor got engaged, which I thought was very cute, the first thing that came to my mind was, this is Travis's last year. He's going to be done this year. They're going to go off, have babies, do whatever they're going to do. He's going to be done this year. So that will save them some of that cap next year. That will give them a little bit of elbow room. But I think what we're seeing too here is the fact that Mahomes, every play is trying to save the play. If it doesn't come off. Now they have a decent running back. Worthy should be back in the next week to 2 weeks. So that will help them some. thoroughly expect them to still be in the playoffs this year, but I just think we're finally seeing true cracks, not cracks like we were talking about, like, oh, they had a bad game last year, but true cracks in that perfection that was the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's not surprising. It happens to every team. It even happened to the Patriots over their 20-year great run a couple of years, and then they adjusted and fixed it. So I'm not saying it can't be fixed, but it does happen over time. And we have to remember, Patrick Mahomes is not a baby anymore. He's got to be a little bit more careful of some of these hits that he's taking. In the first game, was it the first game? Yeah, they were playing the Chargers, and he ran out of bounds. And at the last minute, he just jammed that defensive player with his shoulder. I'm like, I hope he got his ass chewed for that, because there's no need for him to ask for retribution, which is exactly what he's asking for. And two, to possibly hurt his shoulder. Dumbass, don't do it. But he's mad. He's angry. He doesn't know what to do with it. And, the whole team is a little kerfluffled at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I wanted to talk about a couple of these other leagues. So like we said, the AFC East, the Bills are 2-0, Patriots are 1-1, Jets, Dolphins 0-2. The AFC West is the surprise. So we have Chargers at 2-0, Broncos, Raiders at splitting them, and the Chiefs at 0-2. The same with the Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Brown in that order. And then, like you said, Kate, the Colts being 2-0, playing well. Oh my God, their running back gave me quarterback numbers in fantasy football. I was so happy that last week. Oh God, it was
been waiting for him though, right?
Oh,
We've been waiting.
It's been a while,
Jonathan.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
Yeah. The NFC is the more interesting conference after 2 games. So Eagles 2-0, Commanders, Cowboys splitting them, Giants 0-2, barely. Russell Wilson, hell of a game. I'm just to say that was one hell of a game out of Russell. The North, we have the Packers splitting them with the Vikings and the Lions, and the Bears 0-2, which we expected more from the Bears, right? Like that surprises me a little. And the Bucks having 2-0, Falcons splitting them, Panthers and Saints. Panthers almost came back on those Cardinals. That was great. I'm going to talk for a minute about the NFC West. I said something last week, or no, it's been 3 weeks ago. I guess our show was 3 weeks ago now, our Pick'em show. The NFC West might not be the best division in football anymore, but it's the most competitive. And this, honest to God, proves it. After 2 weeks, you have 3 teams that are 2-0. The Rams, the Niners, and the Cardinals. The Seahawks are 1-1, and they are the only team that has played a divisional opponent. So they played one of the divisions. So obviously someone's going to have to win and lose that one, right?
Right.
The way these teams are playing, this division, the NFC West, is going to be knocked down, drag out, I think. Unless some more injuries pile up. Right now, on paper, it could be the black and blue division this year, the way that these teams are playing. So this one is super fascinating to me. Really good defenses out of most of them. The Cardinals, I will say this. If you almost lose to the Panthers in the last minute, I will give the Panthers credit. They got it together in the last minute. Like, they were looking pretty good there for a minute. Arizona, I think, like, we won this. We're kind of, rolling with it now. But this division is really, really interesting. The Rams playing better. Of course, everything hinges on Matt Stafford staying healthy. That is a big, huge question mark with that team, but the rest of the team looks good. And the Niners managed to piece it together against the Saints with their backup quarterback. But it's Mac Jones, so it's not like he's not played before. Go ahead, Kate.
It's just, I just keep looking at that tweet from Jeremy Fowler. He did the research for us. He said teams that started 2-0 this year, the Colts, the 49ers, and the Cardinals started 2-0 last year and finished below 500. Yeah. So if you're a Cardinals fan or a Colts fan, don't get all excited that you're 2-0 because you started last year 2-0 and you finished under 500. On the other side of that, he said teams with an 0-2 start last year, the Chiefs and the Texans, both finished above 500. So it's really, we're back to that whole, let's see where these teams are weeks 4, 5, 6. Mm-hmm. It's just interesting to note now, but it's not anything to be all excited about or all sad about unless you're a Browns fan. Own your 0-2. It's not getting any better.
So funny. All right, couple comments in here. So we have Kristen says, the Niners are getting lucky, and I'm not surprised. Yeah. If you've heard it once, you've heard it 5,000 times. The 49ers have the easiest, schedule this year. We get it. We understand. It's going to be a little easier for them. And then Steven says that the Chiefs roster needs to stay bad for one more week for his Giants. That's fair enough. 2-0-2 teams. Somebody's got to win it, right? Unless it ends up a tie. And then Kristen says that she's been waiting for a Chiefs Super Bowl slump. I think a lot of us are ready for that. Then she asked, are the Chiefs fans in Kansas City freaking out? Not out loud, right? Because they are in that space where they're the Chiefs. They'll figure it out, right? They always figure it out. Mm-hmm. They always save the day because that's the type of faith you start to have in your team when they have won for so long. We'll check in, Kristen. We'll check in again with that like week 8. We'll kind of see how it goes from that. Kristen also says the NFC West is going to have the best record. I wouldn't be surprised. This is a change from what I said in the pick'em, but seeing the way these teams are playing, if Stafford can stay healthy, they might end up with 3 teams in the playoffs. They really, really could. So, all right, Lisa, put your internal beeper button on. I know.
I'll try.
So national media, Lisa, has been going on and on this whole week about the disaster that's going on Miami. Now, I think they've honed in on that so much because they have been expecting more, much like the fans, for a while now. And they love to talk about a coach on the hot seat. And there is not a coach with a hotter butt right now than hipster homebrewer Mike McDaniel. You were in the game this weekend. You showed us the picture of the flyover. What is going on with the team and what's going on with the fan base?
Well, I think as far as the fan base is concerned, let me hit that first because I did a lot of talking with people, and just like me, they're done. They're done. They're done with Tua. They're done with Greer. They're done with McDaniels. They're done with this whole mess because it's the same song and dance year after year. Mm-hmm. The thing I think that has pushed everybody over the edge, to be honest with you, is Darren Wallen, the tight end.
Yeah,
where he's injured. Yeah. He's not. Now they're talking about IR. They're talking the national media, and they're not wrong. This guy might not even see the field this year. So once again, Greer has managed to bring in another injured player, and they all go back to the draft with Tua, where he drafted Tua injured. So I mean, it's just the same song and dance every single year. What I watched out on that field is what every single person has talked about watching practices, even during preseason when they were scrimmaging with the other teams. They were already saying the teams were blowing Miami away, even in just practice. Mm-hmm. So everybody was just like, yeah, this isn't going to be a good year. And sure enough, I mean, it's tough. Our defense, I think our defense will get better, but because I always think that the defense starts a little bit slow and then but what I watched down there was amazing. I watched a lot of trench play. I was watching them just get pushed back. I mean, they're just losing up front. I mean, they're just getting pushed around and manhandled. Tua looks like a quarterback that has just regressed so tremendously. He also looks like a quarterback that's just frustrated and has given up, because when you look at those interceptions, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he just lost all hope during the play and just threw the ball. Like he didn't even give a crap. I did good.
Look at you. Look button.
Can you fix it this year? I just looked at their cap space. They are 30th out of 32 teams with only 2.3 million available for this year. Is there anything they can do this year to try to fix it?
No, there's nothing. Mm-hmm. My feeling is he's lost that whole locker room. When you go to a press conference and your quarterback stands up there like he's God Almighty and says, well, I'm going to have a talk. Who the hell are you?
Right.
I'm going to have a
power struggle.
Who are you?
Yeah, there's a power struggle there.
You're a guy that can't even run 2 yards. I mean, when you break down this film, I went through this film. I went through the Colts film. There were times our whole element of an extended play is gone. We have no extended play. We have a 5'7" quarterback that when you have short quarterbacks, your line has to hold because he's not going to make it. And it's every single year. We did it with Tannehill and we're doing it with Tua. It's like, oh, well, next year. No, this is gone. This whole thing needs to be blown the hell up, and we need a quarterback.
Right.
You got an excellent quarterback group coming out. You know,
you really do.
Yeah, you do. And our whole extended play is gone. I mean, in that Colts game, he scrambled out. There wasn't anybody near him. He just threw the ball away. Because look, that's probably what they're telling him to do. Because it's like if the dude gets one more hit or gets blown out, pushed over hard, he's done. So it takes our whole element of him even trying to extend and move the chains. And when you sit there and you talk about how that isn't an important element of the game, bull crap.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we seen Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, hell, half the quarterbacks, Joe Flacco, for Christ's sakes, ran for a first down. And extended the damn play. Right. We don't have that. He just throws the ball away. It doesn't matter if there's a guy near him. There wasn't a guy near him. Waddle was wide open. He just flung it outside like he was frustrated. I don't know. Right. It just needs to be blown the hell up.
All right, Lisa, there's some
get better. It's not going to get better in the next couple of weeks. And you can tell from the schedule that the NFL expected more from you.
Yeah.
Because you've got the Bills on Thursday Night Football. And then the following week, the Jets on Monday Night Football.
Right. So let's go through some of these comments here. So Peter wants to know if Tyreek will be traded by October. What do you think, Lise?
I would strongly say yes.
Yeah.
I would strongly say yes. The only thing, my thing is with allegations now that will anybody touch him? That's me.
Cheap enough, they will. They'll take. Yeah. I would think that Miami would take a couple late round picks for him for next year because they need to pick up as many picks. As they can get.
It's hard because at this point, where's Greer's mind at right now?
There.
Where's Ross's head at? I mean, obviously McDaniel's head. We know where his is. This dude's.
He's going to be a DC somewhere.
He's trying. I mean, he can't blame. He's trying. And you've got him pulling against the players saying that, people, I mean, every single time we went to that line, we had 8 seconds left. 8 damn seconds. I got a quarterback that can't even see over the line and can't watch a clock to take a timeout because it goes to 0. I've made no joke of it. I am sick and tired. I'm done with short quarterbacks. Yeah. I don't give a crap. You can bring Breeze to my face. You can bring Doug Flutie. I don't give a shit. I want a 6'2", 6'4" damn quarterback that can run and can throw the damn ball down the field.
Okay, Lisa, take a breath.
Okay. Hit me
with is the GM or McDaniels more to blame here?
I'm going Greer. I think it's all Greer. Mm-hmm. Greer is the one who is in charge of putting this roster on this field.
Okay. And then Steven says, Miami's a team that has all this talent, if you call the talent, but it doesn't actually have a team. Right. They don't play together in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, look at the penalties for crying out loud. Okay, wait. I mean, right? I mean, you want to talk about it? Go ahead.
This is a big red. Well, someone picked up Antonio Brown, so he'll... God, Lily, that's great. And they like you ranting. Kristen does too.
It's just done. I mean, it's and I have tried to sugar. I've been trying. I don't really care anymore. Come at me on Twitter. I don't care because what I see is the truth. I mean, it doesn't take much to go back and watch the film of that Colts game where he rolls out and frickin' Waddle is wide open and he just launches the ball out of bounds. Didn't even give a crap about looking downfield. He's just. Is he being told to do that? Right. But I mean, and then to sit there and watch him in his presser, well, it's like, I'll have to have a talk with the coach. What?
Yeah. All right, take a breath, Lisa. We're going to move on. But yes, I think it'll be interesting to see. That is Miami to me right now is a little pot boiling that they need to just dump out, take the baby with the bathwater and refill it. Just start again. I think that's the points.
Friday. Do we know what the favoritism? I mean, it's got to be by 2 touchdowns easily, right?
Oh, I think it's. Yeah, I don't know. What
I mean, seriously, this will probably be a record.
Yeah, it's true. All right, so I want to move on to kind of another little hot topic. I know we're a little over, but that's because I wanted to give Lisa her time to get it off her chest.
I feel better.
Good, I'm glad. That's the point. I want to talk about Tom Brady. So there is a little bit of a dust up in the NFL right now about Tom Brady once again. So as we know, Tom Brady has a $300 million contract with Fox to call these games. And he's gotten a little better this year. You're getting there, Tom. It's almost listenable. But he's also is part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. So this week he called his game on Sunday, but last night for Monday Night Football, he was in the coach's booth. This caused a little bit of a dust up in the NFL. So
is he not allowed to be?
So I want to get that clarified. question. The question was, he calls a game 1 week, and this is where here. Let me read these to you because there was so much on Twitter,
Yeah,
but they're
I'm
really
confused.
good. And so interesting. This was the one The Athletic put out that I think kind of started a lot, and it was after James Palmer tweeted something, which I'll read to you here in just a minute. But this Sunday, the Raiders minority owner Tom Brady will call America's Game of the Week on Fox when the Cowboys visit the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Chicago's Week 4 opponent is Vegas. So they're worried about him being in these meetings with the Bears. So then James Palmer put out there, Tom Brady meets with Chip Kelly 2 to 3 times a week to go over film and go through game plans. Every weekend, Brady is calling a game for Fox, gathering as much information as possible from the players and coaches from the both teams that he's calling from, and then gets to be his best at the broadcast booth, and then gets to turn around and legally share that information that he has gathered with Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll. The question is that right? So the NFL put out a statement. And they said there are no policies that prohibit an owner from sitting in the coach's booth or wearing a headset during a game. He is supposedly banned. Let me see. Let's see. Where is that one? So sorry. He is banned from being in meetings, like inside the other stadiums. Like there's all these little tiny details.
So he's not involved with their play calling.
Yeah, he's not allowed to go to the team's facility or to their practices, and he can only attend their production meetings remotely. So
but he still hears everything they say.
He still hears everything.
Right.
And
what are they saying,
the coaching
guys?
staffs to decide what they can, what they want, and what they don't want to say with them there. So I feel like if it's Chris Collinsworth and whatever, I'm going to say whatever I want. I'm not going to worry about it. Now the coaches not only have to prepare for a game, they have to think, am I going to see the Raiders list coming up this season? And do I need to now watch what I say because Tom Brady has my game this week?
Yeah, but what are they saying though? That's my question.
But that's the point. So if you
listen to your plays or anything,
well, here is what they do talk about game plans though. And I know this from listening to Aaron Andrews. So when Aaron Andrews, they sit in these production meetings, they talk about what are you focusing on this week? What is your focus? Are you working on special teams plays? Are you this? They give them some bit of details.
Do you really think they tell them the truth? Come on.
Well, not now. Not now. I think now that they know. Before. So the question is, can he be both? And the NFL is allowing it, but the NFL owners and other people within the league are starting to have a problem with it. And then out of nowhere, because I retweeted Boomer Esiason and Gio, the Boomer and Gio show, and they were not having it. And Boomer Esiason even brought up Spygate. He goes, Do we trust him? We've seen what's happened before. And so I think that it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. And I wonder if he, hold on, Lisa. So I'm wondering if Brady needs to kind of self-regulate somehow, but he's not going to not be an owner and he's not going to give up $300 million from Fox. So what do you do? Go ahead, Lisa.
Well, my question is these national media people that you're talking to, how do we definitely 100% know they don't have somebody that they're talking to or saying like, oh, see, that's what I'm saying. You can't. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You're not going to say something stupid. You're not. The NFL's too just like genetic. We're going to work on our run game. Wink, wink. We're going to work on our passing game.
I don't disagree, but
there's enough. It's all just generic.
There seems to be enough people having a problem with it that they do think that there's going to end up being some sort of competitive advantage. So let's go to the comments here. So Peter says Brady, the better looking Jerry Jones.
But hang on, I will also add that anybody who follows the Indianapolis Colts, the I forgot her name, his daughter who has taken over the team is on the sidelines with a headset, getting calls, writing notes.
Well, yeah, but so is Tom Brady, but she doesn't then go and get to cover every other team in the league.
Well, I understand that, but
that's the point. Stuff. It's the crux of that, I think, more than anything.
To me, the simple answer is that Fox has to look at the schedule, and Brady cannot do a game that has a future opponent of the Raiders.
That I would think
they only have 17 games a year, right? That means there are, I can't do math, how many other teams
There's 200
It would
some
be
games a
easy
year.
to do, right?
I
It
would
would be
think
easy for me.
go do other games. He just, if either of those people is going to be a Raiders opponent, he's out. It just looks bad. I mean, I'm with you, Lisa. I don't know that he's getting deep, detailed
No,
insider
I
information.
personally don't think so.
It
I don't think so.
doesn't look right. It doesn't look good.
Yeah. All right. So in comments, Big Red says it's Las Vegas and Tom Brady. What were we really expecting? Fair enough. And then Kristen's like, good point. Didn't help much.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't think you're. I think you're more inclined not to say anything to anybody about your game plans or anything like that. And I swear to God, come on, Kate, you've been sitting there too. They're all generic damn questions. I mean, it's like you could put you could hit play.
We need to get the running game going, and
yeah,
we need
exactly.
to balance.
They don't ask. No, in the pre-production, they don't ask that sort of thing. They're talking about stats. They're talking about injuries. They're talking about things within the players. It is much more in depth in those pre-production. That's how they spew out.
We don't know. I don't think it's anything we don't know.
Let me finish, Lisa. Let me finish. The whole point is he learning extra information that the average owner would not get? That's the question that's out there. And I think that to a certain extent, it's more than anything, it just really looks bad. So Bob says the fighting Pete Carrolls need all the help they can get after that game last night. They sure do, for sure. Big Red says, I would think the game plan is evident during the game. Agreed. And Brady did Washington's opener, which is who the Raiders play this week. See there, I think that the scheduling point is a good point. I think that they could fix this pretty quickly if they wanted to, for sure. Yeah, if they just have to watch that. But you can't tell me that these crossovers aren't going to happen again. You can't tell me that they wanted Tom Brady so bad, they're just letting him do what he wants. Maybe he'll get busy enough with his now European soccer league that he'll leave us all.
Has he made a comment on it?
He says he's just doing his job. So we'll see. Anyway, I don't know.
My advice to everybody listening, and Lisa, I did it this week. I paid attention Monday night to what. So you have the two guys that are calling the game. You have the one that's really calling the plays, and the other guys that's filling in with anecdotes and color commentary and whatever. Right. And it's a lot of, when I was talking to him at practice this week and this, that, and the other, and sometimes they'll say things like, coach said so-and-so's knee was bothering him, but it looks just fine today. Like, it's not a bad enough injury to put him on the injured list. But if you listen to some of the comments they make, it's information that they got from these meetings with the teams. And I think it's absolutely correct that he's not allowed in the facility or the practices because you're going to see things. You're going to see plays written up or whatever. But I'm curious on what they actually do say in the production meetings. If they talk about injuries, we're keeping an eye on this guy. It's not bad enough to be on the injured list. Those kind of things can give you an edge. If you're playing them 2 weeks later, be like, so-and-so's knee was bothering him. Go after him, hit him hard, come at him from the left.
Right. And I have seen that list.
Yeah.
You and I did. Do you remember that?
Yes, I have seen that. I know how that works. But
we got an accidental sneak peek at something.
Oh, yeah, we did. and another thing, too, which is funny, too, is I remember a production meeting with Bill Belichick several years ago where when they were asking him questions, they were doing the things, and he said, oh, so-and-so's nursing, a sore shoulder, he's hurt. And that guy wasn't on the injury list.
Yeah.
And he got fined.
Yep.
So, yeah, you got to be careful what you say.
You got to list that stuff.
I think that this is going to be a conversation that's probably going to continue this year. And I think that they're going to see how, number one, it's Tom Brady, so it's easy to talk about. Number two, I think the media is up in arms enough about it that we'll probably continue to hear about it. So, I don't know. We'll see. Might not be a big deal, might be. All right. So, we will be back again. Oh, go ahead, Kate.
Can I just say something?
Yes, but we're at 43 minutes, so say it quickly.
Okay. So y'all know I'm a Browns fan. I have nothing nice to say. My team sucks. But I would just like to dig at one of the teams in my division and thank the Pittsburgh Steelers for reminding us all why when they kick a ball to you, you land on it.
Shh, don't tell anybody. Worked out great.
2 is less than 7. Hashtag math. Taking the safety instead of giving
it
up.
It is a new rule. Lisa, give the rookie a credit.
I was laughing. I saw that. I'm like,
how do you not get on a ball? Like,
worked out good.
How is it that practice? That's what I want to know. Where's your head at practice? Right? I mean, hello.
It works great for me. My Seahawks won. Not that they only won by 7. I will say the Seahawks beat them 31-17. It was such a nice game to watch. And then to see, it's like DK had to suck it up. It was great. It was great. I loved it. It was so fun. But yes, know your rules, people.
Know the damn rules.
Yeah, definitely. All right, everyone. We'll be back next Tuesday, right here, same place, same time, to talk about. I'm sure there'll be a whole boatload full of new things for week 3 in the NFL. All right, everyone. We'll see you then. Good night.